If your spirituality doesn't make you hateful or homophobic, I need you to do something. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. And of course, I'm meaning that your spirituality also doesn't help you justify deporting a bunch of people who are trying to find hope and safety in a country that's known for freedom and all of that kind of stuff. And look, this is not exactly easy, but it's so important. I need you to be a publicly spiritual person, and for two reasons. Number one, spirituality has been shown over and over again to be a positive force in people's lives who have meaningful spiritual beliefs and practices. It helps them be better at dealing with stress, helps them feel more grounded, more connected, all of that stuff. And that's important. And that's because there's a lot of stuff right now that is stressful, that feels like it's spiraling, like it's out of control. And if you can help people feel like spirituality is something that is not weird and is normal, it can really help them, like psychologically, socially, all of those ways. And this is the second part. Right now, the people that are publicly spiritual are giving spirituality a bad name. They're using it to justify hate and exclusion and all kinds of policies and politics that are the opposite of what all of the spiritual traditions teach. And so if you can be publicly spiritual, then it can really help people feel like, oh, this isn't just a thing that people who are discriminatory and homophobic do. This is something that actually good people in the world do. So how do you do that? Well, it's pretty simple. Basically, you're just gonna talk about it, like you talk about other things. Somebody says, what did you do yesterday? You're like, well, you know what? I had a really great meditation time. Or I read this really spiritual text. Or I watched some spirituality videos on TikTok. Or I don't know, maybe you went to church. Maybe that's a thing that works for you, but you're just gonna say it, like casually. Not gonna try to convince people that they should be spiritual. You're just going to be public about your spirituality. You're gonna let people know that people like you, normal people, good people, do spiritual things, and it helps you. And the other thing is, when you talk about it, try to talk about it in a positive way. If you have the ability to say more than, oh, I did some meditation yesterday, you can say something like, you know what, I meditated yesterday, and I know that might sound a little weird, but it really helps me. Or like, I went to church. My church isn't one of those churches, and it really helps me feel connected and grounded. Or, you know what, I actually have this book that I've been reading, and it's spiritual, but it's not strained, and it helps me be a more loving and accepting person. It's time to take spirituality back from the racist, homophobic people who are using it to justify hate and all sorts of injustice. It's time to take that back, and the only way that we can do that is if people like you are publicly spiritual. If people like you actually speak up and let people know that good people also are spiritual.